is another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about aliens, UFOs, and all things weird.
All things weird.
Right.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to ask you is, well, first off, my brother, he was referring to, I think it was our first or second episode, we were talking about that weird in-between where something looks human and something looks not human, and it kind of freaks you out. Like something's different. Maybe the eyes are a little bigger.
Right.
Like something's weird. And my brother was like, that's called the Uncanny Valley. It's like this term used for like robotics and like AI.
Yeah.
Usually. Or like cartoons. Like somehow like, or sometimes when cartoons are really cute and they look like humans and their like eyes are really like, like anime looks really cute.
Right.
But when it starts to get really, really human, like super realistic.
Right.
There's that spot in between hyper-realism and cartoon and, that it just kind of freaks you out and it looks really weird.
Yeah.
Perfect example for me and having to do with aliens is that video of the alien-looking guy in the wheelchair, something Jerry or Crazy Tom.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
That was, dude,
Crazy
I know what
Jerry.
you're talking about. Yes. And it would roll around the screen real fast.
Yeah.
Man, Stretch something? Wasn't it Stretch? Or
I should have looked this up before we started this.
there it is, though.
Rubber Johnny.
Rubber Johnny, that's
Dude.
what it was.
Rubber Johnny. That used to... I was on E-Mom's World. It used to freak me out,
Dude,
bro.
I completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
Dude.
I would watch it, but it's like...
Rubber Johnny? Is that what it's called?
Rubber Johnny.
You guys... A lot of you have probably seen Rubber Johnny.
Yeah,
but
probably.
if you
Just
have
don't know
no
what
idea what we're talking about, check out Rubber Johnny.
Yeah.
That's a crazy video.
And it's not an alien. It's a dude with some kind of prosthetic on his
Yeah.
head, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's crazy when he slams himself against the glass and it distorts all weird.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It looks really weird. It's like,
Dude, yeah, it's strange.
so I was that noise just made me think of something. I was on Reddit looking at the UFO or aliens feed, and this it was actually Louis Elizondo was having an interview with this newswoman. And remember when on the first episode we were talking about how like they just kind of like news anchors just demean people,
right?
Like, she literally said, "Are there little green men out there?"
Oh my god!
Fucking exactly that. And then you could see it on Louis Elizondo's face, like, oh god, here we go again. Anyway, the interview's great, but like at some point she like starts laughing at him about something, and then the sound engineer or somebody live pressed a sound effects button, and it's the laugh from Mars Attacks. You remember?
Yes.
And it's like, obviously, I don't know if you could if the two people, if Louis and the anchor could hear it, but it's obviously on the recording, and it's dude, it pissed me off so bad. Like,
Dude.
Come on, bro.
I couldn't imagine being that, just being Louis Elizondo and having to like go and talk to all these people. You know, like that is the mission. Obviously, is to get the word out.
Right.
We want to talk about this to people. But dude, if every single person is just gonna automatically say that same crap, over and over, he's got to get tired of that.
Oh, dude.
Like, I want to meet the guy. I think I'm more like getting to meet a lot of these people at the UFO Congress.
UFO Congress 2019.
That's right. I want to ask them, how do you, like, you're in this field, how do you get past like just bullshit, just people automatically like dismissing it or just laughing it off? I mean, obviously you can rattle off all these stats and things, but it's weird how just people don't care. Like, this is one of the biggest things to happen in human history. That nobody's paying attention to.
Right.
Like the leaked document page, the Wilson documents.
Dude, yeah, the Wilson document. I had never heard about that
Holy
until you sent
crap.
that over.
Like, that document, you have one of the highest ranked people in the Navy, if not the highest person in the Navy, saying, basically, I don't know what you're doing here, but I should have clearance to all this stuff. I should be overseeing what you're doing because I'm the person that oversees this stuff. That's my job.
Right.
And they were like, take a hike, son. You have no jurisdiction here.
And so they turn him around. They is in this private company.
Right.
Which Bob Lazar said it wasn't UGG, right? So it was some other black budget program that some other people, I mean, it's obvious that they're just maybe not higher up in rank than that guy, but it's a pivot. It's to the left or to the right. It's just swept under the rug. Things are just going on. Budgets are our tax dollars are going to these these private organizations. I mean, how else are they being funded?
I mean, who says they're even being funded?
Robert Bigelow can't. Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, if you're the ones making all this shit, then just make it.
Dude,
you know,
maybe there's like a race of aliens that are stuck on Earth and they're trying to fix their ships. So they just fund.
It's possible, but
it's just a dumb idea. But like, what if they're funding? There's this shadow organization of aliens that look just like us, and they're like billionaires somehow, and they want to go home and go get cousin Johnny, Rubber Johnny, bring him back. But their ships aren't big enough, or they can't make it, so they're trying to
or they're here waiting, right? Because that was one thing Bob Lazar said, is that, you know, you can be proficient in turning it on and flying it, but once you run out of fuel, you can't, you know, you don't know how to make that fuel, for one, and for two, you don't have the technology to what is it, the material,
the fuel.
You don't have the material of the ship either. You don't even know how to make it. How he you know,
the material science.
The material science of it.
The heavy element that probably exists somewhere else in the galaxy naturally.
Right.
The element, we won't say the number because we don't want our studio to be turned off again by the federal agents, federal government. But yeah, maybe they're waiting for somebody else to come look for them.
Yeah, or they're waiting for us to catch up to that. You know, the manufacturing part of it. You know, it's kind of like you said, if you went back to the pioneer days, and you put a motorcycle there, right? How they could eventually push a few buttons and maybe figure out how to turn it on, right? But then after that, they've got to wait way past the industrial era before they can even produce the plastic, to make that motorcycle. That was the rubber.
A good analogy that he gave about.
So it's kind of the same with us. If that is the case, and they're just trying to get home, they're waiting on us to catch up to the material science, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, if they live longer than we do, then maybe it's just the same people this whole time. Maybe. Like that archaeological dig was their minivan, you know? They were just out on a stroll and they had a flat tire, and then thousands of years later, they just been chilling underground, man. Eating rocks. Eating glowworms, man.
You know, I was thinking about that too. If they, you know, man, I lost my train of thought.
Glowworms.
Damn, glowworms.
Not the gummy ones.
That should help me.
The real glowworms. Yeah, that should definitely help you out. We're talking about.
Damn it! I completely forgot.
Talking about the material science and trying to get home and all that.
Right.
I like talking about.
Oh, I remember now. I was thinking if that was an archaeological dig, right, and we have that ship. I mean, what if they don't care? You know, what if it's like you digging up a Model T out of the ground?
Right.
Which is, it's cool, right? Well, yeah, I'd love to have a Model T.
But like a running Model T?
Right, yeah. But now you could also get a Ferrari. You know, so it's like, what if we found their Model T in the dirt, and now they're flying Ferraris, and like, so they don't really care?
Dude, that's a good idea.
Just some old stuff. It's gonna take them forever to figure it out anyway.
Just let them have it.
And then by the time they figure it out, we already have better stuff. But by the time they figure out how to drive and build the Model T of the space world, we're gonna be way past where we are now. So it doesn't even matter.
Right.
Let those monkeys do whatever they want to do.
So kind of running with that idea, I thought about this today. So we think about AI and artificial intelligence, and there's always this notion of, oh, well, if the computers get smarter than us, then we're in big trouble.
Right.
You know, like if they can be a better version of us, we can get in trouble. So we have to checks and balance that. Like we have to balance that out and make sure that doesn't happen. Like there's people, but there's always going to be people working on it to improve it and to make it better and to make AI happen. But the mass majority of the population is like, I don't want that.
Right.
Like maybe I want something to drive my car, but I don't want something smarter than me walking around. I don't want something more handsome and smarter than me walking. Stronger.
You trying to steal my girl?
Trying to steal your girl.
How you compete with a robot?
Man,
You
can't. So maybe that's the same thing that they're kind of going through a little bit. The aliens
maybe.
a little bit. Maybe one race is kind of thinking like that. Like, hey, we can't let them get too smart.
Right.
Like we
us,
can't.
us being the things they created.
Yeah, the things they created. Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of interesting to think about?
It's possible. Yeah, definitely.
So maybe not that they're like suppressing us figuring this stuff out, like intention. Maybe they are doing it intentionally. People talk about every 10 or I guess Bob Lazar was talking. We're going to be talking about Bob Lazar for a while.
Dude, there was just so much information that he had.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't get in the way.
Well, the thing is that information is extremely relevant, and if it is true, it applies to everything that we're going to be talking about.
We're not doing anything different than any other news organization would do anyway. If Trump said something yesterday, news organizations are going to be talking about that same freaking conversation for months.
Yes.
We're not doing anything different than...
Yeah.
I mean, we're just breaking it down. It's not like we're just regurgitating it. We're like kind of talking about it. If you don't know about it, we're going to tell you what it is, and we're going to say like what our take is on that,
and how you can find it to look it up yourself.
Exactly, yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, dude, like it is relevant, super relevant. What he was, Bob was talking about. I lost my train of thought too. Dang it!
So
I went off on that whole thing. Shit. What was the payoff?
I think it was...
Man.
Dude, I don't remember either. Man, of all times the FBI could shut us down, right now would be
right now, yeah.
Because I don't know what we were talking about. Oh my gosh. So it was something about...
you were hoping it was gonna come to you.
I was hoping so. It didn't though.
Sometimes I just start saying something and I don't know where it's gonna go, and then I start. That's the Office reference.
That's how I live my life.
All right, I'm not gonna think of it. Why don't you? You were telling me something on that break about the girl on the interview.
Yeah.
With
I was working, so I had my headphones in. Pay attention a little bit, but anyway, she goes by DEET, down to earth extraterrestrial, I guess. She's on Twitter apparently.
Let me get them DEETs, girl.
She says she's a hybrid, right?
A hybrid between a human and an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, right. She said the name of her planet. I don't remember. It was a lot of the astro travel, able to,
woo-woo.
Yeah, able to leave your body.
Astral projection. Yeah, astral projection. I don't like that part. I don't hate it, but I just like that's a little too much for me. Like
it is.
I can feel their energy.
Yes.
Like,
no. I know. I feel the exact same way. But then you think about it, and you're like, dude, is there some sort of spiritual element to all this that we don't talk about? Because we have our concept of religions and dogma and things like that a lot of people are starting to kind of shy away from.
Yes.
But maybe all of that stuff is connected to an original source, and that's where it all comes from. So maybe the spirituality aspect of all of this is extremely important. We've just been so brainwashed and like just beat over the head with a shovel when it comes to religion and things like that. I grew up Catholic,
right?
So super religious family, this and that. I don't particularly subscribe to a lot of that stuff. I get it. I think it's beautiful for you to have a faith and believe in something. I think that's great. I don't put anybody down for any of their beliefs. We're talking about fucking aliens right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't put anybody down for that stuff.
Maybe religion did come from aliens though, Joe.
Right. Maybe it did. It did. But we've all got it wrong, and it's all been twisted for power and control.
Yeah. I think humans ruined what religion could have. I think it is. It still is for a lot of people, but I think humans ruined it for me. I think just
absolutely.
Like I think the idea of it is great.
I get so sick of.
I think it helps a lot of people
just putting their point of views on other people, and it's like you have to live this way. You know, like you don't do this, and you go here, and it's like, okay, I guess so. Like,
yeah,
I don't care about that. You know, like, I don't care about any of that.
I want to. Dude, that's like a really long. I want to talk about that subject so bad. Can we come back to that after you tell that story about the DEET girl? I'm gonna write it down so we don't forget because I love that subject. Yeah, because I love to tie it back into the possibility of like, hey, there is something else. Because I think there is. You know, like I don't fully believe in a lot of specificity in the Bible, but I do believe there's a creator. I believe that there's some force that's honestly just looking out for us,
right?
In some sort of way. I think prayer is you can call it whatever you want, but I do think it works.
Yeah, I mean, because prayer is just meditation,
dude. It's just focusing your energy on,
and that's what Stephen Greer does. They meditate, right, and they're consciously contacting the ETs without saying anything. They're meditating.
Yeah.
So maybe that spiritual kind of aspect is important,
right,
to a certain extent, but let's not bring all of our human-made bullshit in with it.
Right.
Can we, like, if we can keep that separate, you can keep me on the line a little longer.
Think of what our culture would have been like had humans not screwed with religion and tried to make it into power and control, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think we'd be doing right now? You think we'd be floating on a cloud, you know?
I don't know.
High-fiving
I think
everybody?
I think we'd be way more scientifically advanced.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think, you know, you look at cultures all around the world and how they would make progress, and then all of a sudden, like a huge religion bomb drops on the culture, and then nothing. You know, you look at like the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
The Arabs. I mean, those guys invented numbers, for God's sake, you know? And then all of a sudden, this huge wave of religion overtakes the area.
You think about the library of the Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria, and if that wouldn't have been destroyed, just happens to been destroyed because of religion.
Because, yes.
Think if that had not been destroyed,
dude,
how much
all the knowledge and information that was in there, completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Right?
Some people say the Vatican still has some of that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% believe that. But I really do. There's miles and miles of tunnels under the Vatican. There's even a specific room dedicated specifically to Satan.
Dude, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of weird, but that's. But you have to know about that stuff, right?
There's stuff from all kinds of cultures, religion. There's gold. The Vatican is the richest thing.
It's a country,
entity,
right? Isn't it its own country?
The Vatican, that area is its own thing. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. There's a theory, right? And it's called the 3 city states, and it's basically how do you control a large population, right? So you control the military, you control the money, and you control the faith, right?
Oh, okay.
And so we have these little areas, right? Which one is the Vatican, which is in Rome, but Italy, right? But it's not part of Italy. It's its own thing. It's a city state, so it's independent.
Okay.
There's the religion. Then we have London, right? The Corporation of London. It's not part of the country. It's its own thing. London.
What?
That's the money.
I didn't know that.
Then you have Washington, D.C. That's not a state. That's not part of the country. It's a district. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
That's the military.
Dude.
Those 3 city states
what
have so much influence over the entire planet. So anyways, that's a tangent.
I love that.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's cool.
A lot of people are going to call bullshit. They're going to say, oh, it's one of those central banking conspiracies and blah, blah, blah. But dude, I mean, calls it like you see it. You know what I'm saying?
Like you see it, man. Hey, man, I love that. I mean, I would definitely want to come back to that, really bad, because the things. Oh, yeah. All right. Before we get too far, you were talking about the story on our little break about this girl named DEET.
Right.
I thought that was super interesting.
Right, DEET.
DEET.
So there was a couple things that she was talking about. One thing that's really stood out to me was she says, she gets abducted often. She's a hybrid. Mixed alien and human. Her family is aware of the situation. They've been taken as well, apparently. She says one of the conversations she had with one of the Greys is the Greys asked her, why are humans so scared of us? When we pick them up, they're always freaking out. They're always trying to fight us.
It's because they don't smile, man. They need a toupee or something.
No facial features,
what
man.
they need a toupee and like a pajamas, like some fun like train pajamas.
Yeah,
make them look cute.
What's the alien on American Dad?
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah,
he's always dressing up and being cool.
He's got all these wigs.
That's what they need to do. But can you imagine like a tiny, big-headed like guy with a toupee? Like, you're not fooling anybody.
He's got one of those nose glasses things with the mustache on it.
If anything,
he's like going in for a bank loan.
Oh God, you would just end up laughing. Get abducted and just laugh the whole time.
It's the greatest.
Aliens are hilarious.
They're like, stop it. You gotta go.
Stop laughing. We're trying to take sperm.
Yeah.
Trying to probe you. Stop moving. They're all pissed at you.
Sir, this one's still chuckling.
So anyway, she asked, why are they so afraid of us? Like, apparently they're scared of us. Because we're huge.
Makes sense.
Compared to them.
We're big old apes. We're hairy.
And we're always freaking out and flailing and trying to hit them and stuff. And so they were wondering why we act like that. And maybe it was a message saying, hey, could you guys stop? Like, just be cool.
Hey, just be cool. I mean, have you ever tried to pick up like a wild bird or a rabbit?
Right.
Or like even like one time I came across a baby raccoon on the side of the road. And it was all sleepy. It was just sleeping there. It wasn't dead. It was just a baby raccoon, middle of the night. I mean, I was driving home from a buddy's house out in the country, and I just stopped and I see this little raccoon, and I try to pick it up, and it looks at me like all wild-eyed and just freaked the fuck out. I mean, like I'm sure tons of people have that same story, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a larger, strange thing you'd never seen. Like, anytime you come in contact with something that's unfamiliar, that's your fight or flight sense.
Yeah.
And most of us would rather flight than fight.
Yeah.
And it just so happens when you get cornered, like tied down to a table, and you got a bunch of tiny, big-headed people with, fake nose, mustache, glasses things on their pajamas.
They're like, come play with us. Come play trains.
It would freak you out.
Yeah.
That'd freak you out.
So she's talking about, she's having this conversation with a gray alien, and this is a tiny one, like a short gray alien. And he's speaking English to her, like having a normal conversation.
Right.
I'm curious as to like where this is taking place. Like, is this?
I don't know. It's on the ship.
Okay.
It's on the ship.
All right.
She says that when she gets abducted, she gets taken to a place that looks kind of like a high school gym. Just
interesting.
Not as boxy, but it's big. So maybe they pick her up in a ship and take her up to the mothership or something.
Yeah.
So
I always wonder, like, there's always a mothership, but like, where's the dad at?
He left.
He went out for some smokes. He never came back. All right, I gotta stop. All right. I'm not funny.
Maybe the source is daddy.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what they're looking for, man.
Yeah, I've heard reports of extraterrestrials communicating and saying that they obey the source.
Oh,
they take direction from the source.
Right. Okay, I have heard this, and some say it's like an AI, like an ultra AI, where it's an artificial life form that kind of knows everything that's gonna happen, has happened, is happening.
Right.
Towards So I've heard a little bit about, not a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like you have the grays that kind of work under the tall whites, and then the tall whites get this information from the source.
Yeah.
Wherever, whatever that is.
Right.
Like we were talking about earlier with religion, maybe it's the same thing. What we call God, they call the source, and it just so happens we had contact with it at some point in time. Or we didn't, and they came and told us about the source.
Dude.
Thus, bringing on religion.
Whoa!
And then you move forward from there, and then you have some guy that comes along and says, the only way to get to the source is you gotta through me, right? And then the only way to, when you die, and the only way to get to the source, you gotta pay money. And then
to
talk
me.
to me.
Yeah.
Right?
No. It's not in my head. It's all he's saying it to my head, but I wrote it down. But you can't read the book.
Yeah. He tells me, and then I tell you guys.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It's totally fine.
That's how it works.
Right.
Just whatever. Just pay me money, talk to me, and then you can go.
Yeah. I will tell you how to I'll tell you what happens after you die, but all you have to do is pay me money for the rest of your life.
Pay me money.
And that's like it's like one of the most big questions, like what happens after we die? Like, of course I'm gonna pay you. Are you serious? You can tell me?
Let me
Like, for real though?
Yeah.
For real though? What if they, we always think about, like, you go back in time and they're like speaking a different language.
Dost thou have the answer?
But what if they said,
Thou dost have the answers.
for real though?
For real though? You got some answers?
Yeah.
Yes, I have the answers.
That's
It kind of pisses me off. It, like, ultimately, it pisses me off. Because there was a time where you didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I
feel like there had to have been one short period of time, like when Jesus was doing his thing, or whoever he was, somebody cool was doing some awesome stuff. Like, hey, you should probably live your life like this, and you'll be happier, and everybody around you will be happier, and people will stop fighting and killing. And like, here's some little guidelines. Like, that makes sense, and everybody got on board, and it was really awesome for a little while. Like, if you ever worked at a job and your boss is kind of shitty and he gets or she gets fired and somebody new comes in, or maybe there's like a span of time where there's nobody, that's just like you're kind of waiting for that job to be backfilled, and everybody's super happy and working really hard and working together. Everybody's super positive and like, woo! And then some other dude comes in and ruins it.
Right.
Dude,
there's an interesting story about that. A lot of, like, religious scholars and things, they talk about it on how there's parts in the Bible. Jesus is born, he's a baby, and then he disappears. And then he comes back.
for 30 years.
Or something like that. I think he was like 26,
he leaves when oh man, we're the wrong people to ask.
Yeah. I don't have the specific numbers, but the point of the story is when he leaves and there's all this missing time in the Bible, they say he goes to the Tibetan mountains, meets the Tibetan monks, right? Because you have the Old Testament with the all smitey smiter.
Oh,
the angry God.
Smitey Smitersons.
He kills people. He orders, hey, kill your son. Like, I want to make sure you're obeying me.
It's like,
he makes floods.
Yeah.
He's just wreaking havoc on everybody, right? He's
wrathful.
mad because everybody's got their own gods. They're so angry, right? And you get to the New Testament, and it's love one another. Like, just everybody. It'll be cool, right? That's what people say happened. Is Jesus went and studied with the Tibetan monks, and then he came back into that area and started preaching this, how the monks live, and they're like, oh, that's cool, let's monetize it.
That's pretty.
All right, so now the only way,
first corporation,
right? Yeah.
Have you seen that meme where it's like the what's the mask with the little mustache, the white mask? It's like there's a movie about it. Remember
the V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta.
But there's a name. I can't remember the name of that mask.
I can't either.
Yeah.
But there's a meme where it shows some dudes working in a factory making those masks in vast quantities, and it's like, all right, give some people to rebel about, and let's monetize it. Like, yeah, of course,
yeah, totally.
It's just so cyclical. Like it's always been done. That's what happens. Capitalism, baby.
Yeah. You can make $1, make it. You you gotta do it. I mean,
do you though, man? Let's just make some beets, man. Not like rap beets, but like food beets.
Food beets.
Some lettuce, some carrots.
We're gonna make it.
Let's grow it.
Grow it.
Let's just eat our own food, man.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. I love supermarkets. There's no way I'm gonna grow my own food. That's way too hard.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I want to stay on that bottle for as long as I can. There's no way we could
supermarket bottle.
The money bottle, I guess. That was dumb.
No, I mean,
there's no way we can go back now, dude.
I guess it sucks, right? But at least you live in a place where you can do it.
Yeah, true. That's tight.
You know?
Well, yeah, I sound like such a whiny little baby right now. God, we got to get off this subject,
bro. I mean, you know,
let's get back. Let's talk about aliens again.
I worked at 5 to 5. You know,
yeah,
5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Whatever. Do you think aliens have jobs? Do you think they work for food, or do you think they barter?
I don't think they do that at all.
I think we might have talked about this last time, but like they make their own food and stuff. You know,
that girl DEET. She was saying that, what was it? Something about how we're just not, if we were more of a space-going, exploratory civilization,
yeah,
it'd be one thing, but a lot of them, like, just pass by us because there's really no need for them to come here. Like, it doesn't matter, but if we were, then we could actually connect trade routes and things like that with other civilizations. And
right.
So then maybe once we can do that, then they'll start paying attention to us. But it's just like us. If we wanted to trade and barter and do things like that, we wouldn't go to nobody who doesn't have anything.
Right.
There's no point. You just pass right by them. Go to the next place.
The moon would make a perfect little trade route stop, you know? Like something out of Star Wars. Like you don't actually go to the big planet, but you go to the little moon.
Yeah, you go to the little moon.
We could put power plants up there and big ugly machines and stuff on the dark side of the moon, the side that we don't see, and no one's gonna complain, And then also, what do you think we have on Earth that other civilizations don't have in their galaxies or planets? Like we're talking about that element earlier that doesn't occur naturally.
Right.
I wonder if there's something on Earth that exists that
other planets don't have.
Yeah. Like what would we barter? Like what would we have to offer to a galactic trade route?
Maybe water.
Ooh. Well, water is one of the most abundant. Maybe not liquid water,
but is it in H2O form?
Right.
Like
right.
ours.
Yeah, good point.
There is a lot of hydrogen out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
lots of farts out there too, man.
But
that's hydrogen. Not hydrogen. Some methane.
Methane. Did you see Mars released a huge pocket of methane?
Yes, and it like turned the landscape a different color.
Yeah,
right?
They were like, whoa. So they've been exploring this thing for years now, and they found small traces of methane, but nothing to like really register.
Right.
And just recently,
so Mars farted.
It was a lot of methane, right? And how do you get methane? You get it through decomposition, old organisms that are now dead,
biological material.
Farting.
Dude, I did not put those two and two together.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's how you get methane.
Why is that not a bigger deal?
I don't know. Because,
can you get methane in another way?
Because Trump's still president and everybody's obsessing about it.
I don't know, okay? It sounds like Mars farted, okay? I know a lot of people that fart. I know a lot of people.
Dude, I mean, we got a lot of shit going on here on Earth, but that's all man-made. You did it to yourself. Get over that shit. Like, let's move on.
So, what are you talking? Are you talking about?
I'm saying, like, just all the stuff that's coming out. There's methane on Mars, right? They found water on Mars. There's all these ET disclosure. Like, This is the biggest news ever. Mm-hmm. And I can walk down the street and talk to 50 people, and one person might kind of, sort of, maybe know a little something about it.
Yeah.
How insane is that, dude?
Also, to counter that, to be devil's advocate, I'm actually happy that there's a large percentage of what's being put out in the news that are about fringe things like this. The people that, the old way of syndicating news is let's give the people what they want. And it seems like if what you're saying is true, which I do definitely agree, that maybe one person out of 50 will know what we're talking about, but at least the news outlets are reporting it. Like, that's awesome to me.
Yeah. It's not,
I think we're going through a little transition.
Yeah, it's not what we thought, but it's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's a topic, and it's not a new topic by any means, but in the mainstream, it's a relatively new thing that people are talking about.
So I think all of this stuff, like, it's all working towards this slow little release of disclosure, if that makes sense. It's like, let's not just like put out this one story like, hey, the president comes out and says, yeah, there's aliens everywhere. But if it was done in a really slow manner where we talk about stuff on the left, not on the left, like politically, but here's some things happening on Mars. Oh, here's some things happening on Jupiter, which you showed me in our little break. That was cool.
Yeah. The void.
Yeah, like kind of little hints that you kind of make people think it's their idea, or like they're understanding it for themselves and not just being told by an authority figure.
Right.
Where they're like, it is kind of like, I think that's the best way to get information out there, is to like disperse it evenly, kind of like shotgun shell, rather than like one big ass bullet, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to release a whole bunch of stuff. One, because they don't want enemies getting a hold of it, and two, they don't know what's going on. I think that's the big thing. One thing that I've kind of flipped on is, well, the government knows. The government knows all this stuff. They have this,
Same.
they have that. They know all. And the more and more that I get into it, the more I think they don't know shit.
Yeah, but they want you to think that they know all because they want to stay in control, right?
Right.
I think it comes down to what we were just talking about a little bit ago, the control, and they want us to think that they're the answer. And there's a South Park reference
exactly.
to this. There's a South Park episode about that.
So the government will save me. The government will help me. The government is there to protect me. What is the government? The government is just me and you, dude.
It's just a bunch of people.
All it is.
Yeah.
It's just people.
Yeah.
The president is not important.
He's more
not.
Just a spokesperson.
He's just a face to the crap.
He's kind of like a mascot, but like,
he's the one who just gets the blame.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that too. What a hard job.
Yeah.
Man.
The blame for the good, you get credit for the good, you get the blame for the bad.
Yeah.
And
he just represents us.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's not important. Pope, I don't care.
There's just thousands and thousands of people actually making a difference and making the decisions in the background. Like, yeah. So it's like a hive mind thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's silly, but yeah, DEET was saying some pretty crazy things.
So we're
I definitely wasn't 100% on board.
Yeah,
but very interesting.
You gotta. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I think we already talked about this. Where like you want to listen to those crazy things sometimes if it is not too out there,
right?
Just because I think there's always that little kind of seed that's like, okay, that's kind of logical. I could see that happening. I'm gonna hear you out. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not gonna just don't talk to me. Don't say anything. I'm not or whatever. I'm gonna listen.
Yeah,
and give you the benefit of the doubt, and then decide for myself later. Like
even though I was working while I was listening to it, I listened to the whole thing.
Were you working or twerking?
I was working.
Oh damn.
Yeah. No, it's hard to twerk to talk shows.
You gotta find some crazy rhythm in that, dude.
Definitely not on our show. We have no rhythm.
No, not at all, dude.
I'm a bass player with no rhythm.
Bass player with no rhythm, bro.
That's a lie, bro.
Yeah. Alien without no ship, man.
Yeah, no. What caught my attention also, other than her talking about the Greys and like, why do humans freak out all the time?
Yeah,
well, that's obvious, right? Another thing she was talking about was the propulsion technology of the ship.
Oh, she was talking about that?
She was talking about that too.
So they had told her something?
And it was kind of weird because, we've been listening to all the Bob Lazar stuff and how that stuff kind of works. She was saying something about, imagine a fishbowl, right? And then you have like a piece of paper and you put it over the fishbowl and you kind of push it halfway in the bowl. And then she said, then there's like a little cap with like a stem on it. And apparently this paper or this sheet was like a map of some sort, right?
I'm looking at you like
It's so crazy.
I feel like you're making it up on the spot.
No,
Hey, I could do that too.
that's how I felt when
All
I
right,
was
you
listening to her.
You get a squirrel.
I was like, dude, are you kidding me right now? And she's like, yeah, you snap the lid closed, and it creates this pressure, and you can like poke a hole in the map, and it moves the ship. It was like Jimmy Church was even like, wait a second, explain that to me again. Hold on. He was like, I almost got it. Almost got it.
Okay.
He's got that cool talking voice.
Yeah.
I almost got it. Tell me one more time again. And she explained it to him again.
How can they see the map without the lid on?
So apparently, like, you shove the paper in the bowl, right? But then when you put the lid on it, it looks flat.
Dude,
From the outside.
I don't almost got it.
So
I believe that you're saying what she's saying.
I said exactly what she said.
Okay.
And I don't got it either.
Okay.
I don't got
All
it.
right.
And I feel like Jimmy Church was lying, bro, because I don't think he got it either. As much as he said he got it.
Hey, I
don't
can.
think
All right,
he got
so
it, bro.
hey, I was talking to a Gray earlier, and he said what you need to do is you need to go to West Texas, and West Texas there's a dollar store, bro. And you go in the aisle, with the spoons.
Oh yeah,
the
spoon
whisks.
aisle.
Get a
whisk.
spoon and a whisk. Now what you want to do is weave those in between each other. Spin it really fast.
Oh.
And then what you want to do is get a Diet Dr. Pepper and pour the whole thing on it, and just watch it. And then when you close your eyes, you're gonna be in another place.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
So that's all I'm saying. I could do it too.
It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. Some of the
could've done
stuff she
better.
was saying was pretty wild. But that's part of it.
Yeah,
That's part of
it
this,
is.
man.
It's weeding out the.
And what if we find out
That's how it's done.
and Bob Lazard's full of shit? Right? How crazy would that be? Right?
Man.
Like, Bob, you and your Element 115, bro, that's full of shit.
Yeah, bro.
What about this fishbowl with the paper in it? Like,
Turns out all we needed was a damn fishbowl.
is a paper. But she was talking about how the ship, she did the whole gravity thing, how it pushes and pulls gravity, creates its own gravity, it travels. She was saying though that they can. So, okay, it gets weird. Okay. When you're traveling, it also has to do with time. So when you leave this place, when you leave Earth, you keep a Earth clock, right, to keep time with it. So when you travel to a new place, you want to make sure that you don't overshoot time. So you go to you're going to that place, but it's time that you're really worried about. Because you don't want to
traveling on Earth.
Well, no, traveling, like if you wanted to travel to a new star system,
Okay.
right? But you wanted to come back and
coming
be on
back.
Earth time and everything kind of be the same, right? She's saying, so if you do that, you go to a new place, what you want to do is you got to make sure that, because when you travel, you're going to travel back here no matter what.
Okay.
The issue is you want to make sure that you don't undershoot time or overshoot time.
Whoa.
Because then you show up 200 years later and everybody's gone. Which completely defeats the purpose of what you came here for in the first place.
Right.
Right? Because now everything's gone.
How many times do you think that's happened?
Probably
Like,
a lot.
shit.
But that's the thing, is that they can then reverse it and then come back.
Right.
And then come to the
Dude.
correct time.
That's what I'm interested in is how the time works. Because if you're traveling faster than the speed of light and you're in this bubble of gravity, and gravity affects time and light and all that, like... So Bob Lazar was saying, it's not saying we're creating a time travel machine, but at the same time, I feel like you are. It would make sense. Not that I'm like
You're affecting time with gravity.
Yeah.
Right? Because gravity is the key to that.
Yeah.
Gravity... so like in what was the movie Interstellar,
right?
right?
Dude, I was never gonna get that. Nice.
So Interstellar,
Matthew
and they
McConaughey.
go down to the planet, and he's saying, look, this planet's gravity is massive.
Right.
So when you go down there, you got 5 minutes That's going to leave me up here in the ship for 2 years. So make sure you're back in 5 minutes, or else I'm going to... And so they end up fucking up and staying there for like 20 minutes, and he's been up there for 15 years. You know, and
Forgot about that.
And he's just been doing math and homework on gravity for 15 years. Didn't know if they were alive or dead, but he did know that they could be there for a couple minutes, but it's going to be years for him. So he sat and waited,
dude.
Right? So that's the same thing. It's that ship is creating that time warp a little bit. So when you see them moving and it looks like they're moving all crazy, they may not be moving crazy. They may be moving very smooth and fluid.
Right.
But because it's affecting the time around that space, it looks different.
Right.
Right?
Whoa.
So it's a complete
whoa.
Yeah. It's a mind jammer for sure.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that was one thing that she did say that was like, okay.
So she kind of knows what she's talking about.
I don't get that fishbowl shit.
Yeah.
But that overshooting time thing kind of made sense. It was something I never thought about.
A little nugget of information that's like, okay.
So there's little things in there that really kind of like drew me into the conversation. And I was like, okay, that I can see how that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff you're saying is whack.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wacky pack, bro. Like, I don't get, I'm not on board with that. But then some stuff, it's like, but we're too stupid to know anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, so I say that I kind of step away from conversations sometimes, or maybe I tune out when somebody kind of goes too far with the spirituality kind of stuff. But at the same time, I always kind of flip when I think about like experiences with like, you know, like psychedelics or like DMT, where people talk about when experiencing DMT that every single person has the same story, that they feel like they're in the presence of another entity, which I think there's something to that. Like there's, like to your point earlier, where I think there is an element to all this that is spiritual that we just don't talk about, or we just don't know, or like it's like this lost force that we just don't have access to unless we take a substance that gets our brains there. So I think there is something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. I don't know if you've ever done DMT.
I have not. I've done mushrooms though.
I've done DMT. I didn't have like this crazy dimensional thing going on where I met entities, you know, from wherever.
Yeah.
However, I did see myself.
Oh.
Which was kind of cool.
Whoa. Like as in a mirror of yourself?
No. Like, I hit it. I'm sitting there. Things go gold. It's like almost like sparkly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Gold and like greens and reds and just kaleidoscope color. You know, it was really, really cool. And then it felt like a string on the back of my neck, like where your back and your neck meet right there. It felt like I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, and it felt like it pulled me up like to the ceiling, and I was looking at myself from behind. So I could see the back of my head and my back, and I could see me sitting there on the bed.
Whoa.
It was cool.
So did that freak you out at all? In the moment, I mean, did it?
You don't really. You're thinking about it, but you don't really think about it.
Okay.
You know, you're kind of on the ride.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. You don't have time, or maybe it's just like that's not part of your brain chemistry at the moment, is to like be afraid of the experience.
Yeah, it wasn't like
people talk about like bad trips. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe definitely. That's just something that doesn't happen on DMT.
You know, I feel like it could, but you may be so just
out of it,
gone that you don't process it until you're back.
Yeah. So I'm seeing this like string you're talking about is in like the Matrix. You know how they click that thing in the back of their head?
Neck. Yeah.
And that's just so freaky, dude.
It's kind of crazy.
So you did. Crazy. So did you didn't experience any kind of entity or any other consciousness?
I didn't experience it. Uh-oh, dude. Shit, where were we at?
Where were we at?
Oh, the string.
The string.
The back of the neck thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
So did you physically feel this pressure?
I didn't.
But you saw yourself from a different perspective.
Different perspective.
Man.
I didn't feel myself leave my body. I didn't feel none of that. All it was sitting there, waiting, and then all of a sudden colors, kaleidoscope, and then I'm looking at myself.
Wow.
From the back.
Yeah.
And, like my arm moves, or like my fingers, like I'm noticing all these little details. And it's when we talk about that spiritual aspect of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're looking at.
Could be.
Your brain, dude. There's even some theories that extraterrestrials take our DNA because they can't have those experiences. We're in such a heavy, like a three-dimensional state.
Yeah.
Super dense, super heavy. We have a lot of feelings. We feel pain, happiness, excitement, fear. There's all these things, but they don't experience that.
And that's why they kind of want to integrate our DNA with them, because
they're interested in us.
They want the human experience. It's not like they're after technology or
Exactly.
weapons. They just want to.
They're into music, art, those kinds of things.
I would see how they would be into music and art for sure.
Because as a human, right, this is something DEET was saying, that the extraterrestrials are really into music. They don't like to listen to it, but they can hear music telepathically. So they hang around the earth and they can absorb the music.
Dang.
Right? But they don't. The specific race that she's talking about, they communicate telepathically, so there's no need for them to use their vocal cords. So singers are really interesting to them.
Wow. So, I always thought about, all these like artists or musicians say that when you get that moment of like a muse moment, I get it too when I write songs too. Like it doesn't come from me. Like I literally just and I just grab it, and I'm not physically reaching up and grabbing it, but I'm focusing on something that's happening that I can hear audibly in my head.
It's almost like somebody sent it to you.
Yeah. But I can hear it in my head, and it's like, I have to write this down. I have to record. I have to sing it. I have to at least sing the little dutes, in my my phone, like vocal system, or the vocal recorder or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not sitting there like, I want to write a song today.
Yeah. It
just happens. I hear it, and then I just run with it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that write songs or like write music, I mean, I'm sure that's happened to you a bunch too. Like,
oh yeah,
it's nuts, man.
I'll be thumping really around on the bass, and then all of a sudden, like, cool riff.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? I've been jamming for an hour and a half and nothing.
And a lot of people that don't write music or sing songs or whatever, doesn't mean that can't happen to you. Like, I think everybody has that. Like, it depends on if you're
that though. As a musician, that's our form of meditation.
Yeah.
We get into our place, our own little zone, our own thoughts, block everything out. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting around jamming, I'm not thinking about anything.
No.
Other than what I'm doing. And half the time I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just in my place enjoying that.
Yeah.
That moment. Mm-hmm. And that's when a lot of things seem to happen to you.
Right.
So it is kind of like that form of meditation.
It's that flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's the closest thing I can say that I've come to, like, is it telepathy?
Yeah, telepathy.
But like that feeling that I can't describe that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't describe that to really anybody, like what that's like, I guess. Like it's literally a message coming at me, and I didn't come up with that.
And it's one of those things where, even people who are like scientists, they say they have those moments too. I think everybody can have that moment.
I think so too.
They just need to find their thing.
Yeah. And
when you find that thing that really kind of makes you happy, you can almost be limitless, Like if I'm at home or I am just kind of out doing something, never talk.
Yeah.
Never. I never talk. Not a talker.
Yeah.
I could sit here and talk to you
Right.
for an hour and a half
Do a podcast.
and do a podcast,
Right.
you know, because I'm in my zone.
Yeah.
This is completely effortless for me right now. But if I have to be in a place where I'm not comfortable. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
We just got shut down again.
We got shut down again?
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Maybe this is important information.
Yeah, I think it is, dude. We're not supposed to be talking
We're
about it,
finding
dude.
something out, right? No, but
Maybe it's an alien trying to get in.
Maybe he
trying
wants
to,
to
he's
podcast
trying to
with
communicate with us.
dude, that'd be cool.
That would be so dope. And he's like, "Hey, what y'all doing over here? Y'all on that MySpace?
You want to have MySpace?
How come nobody on that MySpace no more?"
Hey Ben, I heard you just dropped some tracks.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's
It
true.
is true. Promote that, dude. What's your
Damn, dude. I just put out a little acoustic album.
nice?
Yeah, man. It's called Pretty Good Songs because they're pretty good songs.
Pretty good songs.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Is it on SoundCloud, right?
It's on SoundCloud right now, but
right.
it'll be on iTunes and Spotify and all that pretty soon.
Good
Probably
stuff.
a couple weeks. Thanks,
Nice.
man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. It's
Well,
it was
dude,
fun.
That's
It was dope. A lot of the songs are like kind of sad, but I mean, I just needed to record them. You know, I needed to get them out. A lot of those songs are what we're talking about. It's just like a lot of those words. It's like they're up for interpretation, but a lot of those melodies just
yeah,
I did not write those. Those just came like
dude. Like
I just grabbed onto them and I started playing them.
that's one thing I don't understand. You're an amazing writer. Anytime I write something,
Aw.
it's like a fucking Dr. Seuss book. Like I just rhyme every other word, and that's obviously not how you're supposed to do it. But
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Well, it's high praise.
I wish I could have a muse come down and be like, "Yo, this is a kick-ass song."
I'm telling you, I'm not writing it, dude. It's
you know.
just I'm literally receiving shit, and it's like the next word that I'm saying, I'm not even
Yeah.
looking to rhyme. I'm just writing it down, and somehow it rhymes. And it's like, it's so easy, dude. All of my songs come out. I sound like a fucking idiot when I'm saying it's so easy,
No, but I mean,
you know what I
that's
mean.
what you do. Yeah,
but it's just like it just happens. All of my songs I write in like 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
like that's it.
that's insane.
And
That's
maybe
insane.
sometimes like Britton will help me out with like some composition stuff or whatever. But like, yeah. Anyway, enough about me.
I feel like when I try and write a song, whoever's relaying that information is completely cutting me off. They're like, "You can't sing. Stick to the bass. I'm not gonna let you write anything. Stop it."
I'm trying to like imagine your muse, and it's just
It's just
you know,
It's just
which that'd be
like
kind of cool.
An alien like telepathically,
But
just
with
like,
his mouth.
he's like, "Hey, dum, 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 dum."
Yeah. And then like for drummers, it's like it's just a beatboxing alien.
Oh man. Yeah,
That's fun.
dude. So yeah,
All right, so that was
that was a pretty good one.
that was a
too.
pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're good in an hour right
yeah.
now.
That's not
Sweet.
bad.
We're trying to keep these episodes a little less than an hour. Not for any particular reason, but I hear Nibbler scratching at the door. Maybe that's
Yep.
the reason.
Yeah,
But
if
yeah,
if we run over, we're gonna run over.
yeah, we're gonna run over.
You know, but that's kind of I guess a consistency thing, maybe.
Yeah, there you go,
maybe.
dude.
Like we just, I don't think it matters. I
Really.
think we're still kind of trying to feel it out.
Yeah, I just want to talk about aliens
Yeah,
and then
totally.
record it and then put it on the internet. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But we do love it when y'all, hey, seriously, everybody, thank y'all, those of you guys that have commented on our Facebook page. We do have a group. One thing I did was create another Facebook group so that everybody can see each other's comments.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, I believe on our Facebook page, you have to go to the community tab, or maybe that's only me and Joe can see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would like for everybody to be able to see each other's comments and like interact with each other. Like somebody's going to see something in Florida, and another dude that lives in Florida is maybe a mile away, and
sees the same thing.
If he sees it on Facebook, I'm going to go outside and shoot film. That kind of situation I would love to have.
Yeah.
Or in Texas or whatever. But
yeah, dude, Blake, that video was dope.
Yeah.
Good job, brother.
Super awesome video.
Nicole, your story was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about that on the previous episode?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, whatever.
We did.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
We just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. And you guys, like I said, if any of y'all have any stories, any video, anything you want to talk about, if you've seen the Mothman in your backyard,
yeah, let's talk about some Mothmans.
let us know, man. This is where we talk about aliens, UFOs, and
all
things weird.
Weird.
That's right. But so we're still working on the Patreon stuff. We're gonna be working on that website here pretty soon, getting that thing up and running. But right now we're on in full force on Facebook. So check us out on Facebook, UFO Garage, and then we have the UFO Garage. Well, so it's UFO Garage Podcast, correct?
Yeah.
And then UFO Garage Podcast Group.
Yes.
Right?
And if you go to the Facebook, the regular page, there's a button right at the top that says Join Group. You just click on that.
Go for it. Yeah. Come say what's up to us. Leave us your stories. Give us some likes, follows, all the usual stuff.
Or the weird stuff.
The unusual stuff. Right?
Right.
All right, brother. Well, I think we're good to go on this one as well.
All right, I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
UFO Garage.
Love you.